Hi, friends. So, here's an explanation about the here and now, time and space. And I want to remind everyone that whenever I speak a spiritual talk. And so, we're talking about a dimension and an esoteric way of thinking. So, if our premise is that there is a God, universe, or energy that created everything that we are experiencing on the physical level, then we want to understand as well that that premise means that everything already has been created in the idea form. And that is why we can manifest into the physical dimension. So in the physical dimension, when you're looking at an object that you have in front of you, you're looking at it in the now. And it has been procured because of a previous idea that was in what we call the see-through world, that energy world where the idea came from in the first place. So we're actually only tapping into an idea that we can then manifest and make a physical experience out of it. In the physical experience, you are experiencing time and space. You are now drinking from a glass that was manufactured and it went through some sort of process to become what it is. But in the unseen world where that idea came from, that glass appears and then there's a previous glass and there's a future glass, which means there's no time and space in that space. Everything is. Now, why is this important for us to understand? Because a lot of people, especially now going through these special days, think it's all or nothing. They think, okay, we must really do with less and we mustn't want of anything and we shouldn't want to be rich or wealthy or have abundance. And I'd like to spend a little time on this. True abundance is having the experience in the moment and appreciating it. So that energy that created the whole world, if there was a will there, doesn't want us not to have abundance, not for us not to have a physical experience. But, and this is where it is, if we have the physical experience and then we move on to the next one, we are then still flowing. But if we take a physical experience and attach ourselves to it, we have developed another God. And that's what is not wanted. So abundance is the flowing in the experience from one experience to the other, appreciating it. So that when you end out your life, you're going to be able to look back and say, wow, I've lived that, I've experienced that. So, for example, if you would go now to a hotel, the hotel would be yours in your experience because you're the one experiencing the hotel the way you do. But you're not going to take the hotel with you when you go to the beach, and thank God for that because you would be burdened. So you're now at the beach and the beach is yours in your experience. And now you can leave the beach behind and you can go home and you can sit on the wonderful cozy chair that you have. And that is your experience. And thank God you don't have to take the chair with you when you leave the house. So it's about disattaching ourselves from the wanting of keeping something, of thinking that something is the one that's going to determine whether I'm wealthy or not. Wealth lives within us in the experience of what we are feeling at any given moment, and we have that choice. Wherever we are, we can now sit quietly and appreciate where we are and understand that what is happening to us came to us because of our vibration. That, I always say, is the most important thing to remember because we are always talking about state of being. Our state of being will determine my next experience. And how do I want to experience my next experience? Obviously, for me, I'd like to experience it in serenity and happiness, and I think everybody else does. And that is where my ability to respond lies. The responsibility is the ability to respond. Everything else doesn't matter. As long as you are in a space where you're happy and serene, you have just uplifted the world around you, and in circulating circumstances, they can now uplift their surroundings. It's like a pebble in a stream. You throw in a pebble, That's been your responsibility. Now the pebble and the stream make their own waves and their own circles. So with that note, I want to remind us that yes, we are entitled to pure abundance, the feeling inside of feeling good, of appreciating matter and non-matter. And in that space of the feeling, we have uplifted our surroundings. We do want to experience the physical world. We do want to experience people around us. We want to know who we are through people. And I think this is one of the biggest lessons that we can all learn through this corona stage of our lives. How can we be present in somebody else's company? And how can we get to know ourselves through that person? Because we're all joined together to have this collective consciousness that will rise and enhance us and bring us to the next ascension. So with that happy note, blessings to all, and thank you for listening, and see you next time, just because we can.